Hello, 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 everyone. Again, I am going to get this right. It is Dr. Brandy B. We are here for Focus on It Friday. So come on in. Come on in. The call dropped before, but we are back on the air. We are here. So come on in. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. I had to change locations because, things were not working out. But we weren't going to let that stop us. So we are here now for Focus on It Friday. I'm so excited. It's a new year, and we are going to talk about the new year and focusing on the new. Focusing on the new. So come on in. Let me know that you're here. I see Miss LaWanda Little John. I missed you all year, girl. Welcome back. We've got Miss Michelle Scott Shorts. Welcome back. Happy New Year to you both. Come on in. We've got Miss Beverly Cox. We appreciate you. You are now a veteran, girl. Welcome to the show with Dr. Brandy B. Focus on It Friday. I'm so excited that you all are here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Come on in. Make sure you're sharing the video. Make sure that you are telling your friends that they need to be watching because this is going to be some good information for them. And so we're so glad that you're here and you can share with them. Mama Rudolph is here. Happy New Year, Miss Sadie Gresham is here. Happy New Year. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. It's our very first one of the new year. The devil was trying to get in this thing, honey. The last one just dropped. I said, I'm not fooling with that. We're going to change locations, and we're going to keep it moving. So we are late, but we are here. Happy New Year. Officer Cox is in the building. Happy New Year. We've got Serena Barham passing by. Happy New Year to you. We're going to be talking about bringing in the new, celebrating the new, getting ready for the new. People talk about resolutions, goals for the year, and every once in a while it's not a bad idea to change. And so we're going to talk about that just briefly this afternoon. I'm running late, but I am not going to keep you all afternoon. We're going to get this done timely, but I do want to say Happy New Year. Serena says Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. We're tagging folks, and it's Patsy Barnett is here. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for watching. Miss Michelle Scott Short says, watching with my son. He is headed back to college Sunday. I have really enjoyed having him home for the holidays. We'll have a great year, son. I know you're going to do well this spring semester. Remember to just stay focused. Hang around. There may be something that you're going to learn even from this episode, but I know your mom has enjoyed having you home because guess what? I've enjoyed being with my three little ones. I actually was off with them the time that they were off, and it has been a joy to do that, to be with them because I realize, they say you only have 18 summers. And when you start thinking about the fact that you only have 18 summers with your children, 18 summers is not a long time. That's not a lot of summers. So likewise, you have 18 Christmas breaks, fall, winter breaks when they are still in school. And then after that, they're coming home from college, for the break. And you might be an afterthought. Isn't that crazy? So we do have to make sure that we spend time with them whenever we can. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate all of you all for joining. Continue to tag your folks and let them know that we're here. Make sure that you continue to share the video as well. So I am Dr. Brandy B. I am your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and your child and adolescent psychiatrist. I'm your ADHD expert. I am author of the best-selling book, Shine, Understanding ADHD, so you can be a star, so your child can be a star. I am a mother of 3 children, soon to be 4, 6, and 8 by the end of the month. I am a wife. I'm a wife, and I am an education liaison, a mommy encourager. I'm every woman, right? But sometimes I don't want to be. Sometimes I do not want to be. But right now, what I am for you is the host of the now 2.5-year running since May of 2020 Focus on It Friday. And I'm so happy to be here with you all because you all continue to show up for me. And so that's what I'm going to do for you all. Keep tagging people. Mama says that Latina is watching. Thank you, Latina, for watching. That's my cousin, y'all. One of my favorites. She is here. We've got LaTroya Williamson voice in the building. She says good afternoon. We are so glad that you are here. We've got Miss Julia Benita, watching. Thank you so much. And Miss Cassandra Abernathy. All right, guys, so it's the new year. How many of you all made resolutions? How many of you all made resolutions? Just let me know if you made a resolution for the new year. Let me know if you made a resolution for the new year. How many of you all did that? Miss Ada Elizabeth O'Neill says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for watching. Miss Tanya Hardin Dixon, that's my sister, y'all. I guess she's my sister, too. Happy New Year, and thank you for watching. How many of you all made New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, New Year's promises, New Year's, I'm going to do something right, I'm going to do something new, I'm going to change something up? Did anybody do that as we get ready for this, as we are in, rather, this new year? And maybe you haven't even started. You're waiting for the kids to go back on Monday, and then you're going to get started. But how many people have said, I'm going to do something new in the new year? Nobody? Okay, maybe. Courtney Gallops Alexander is watching. Thank you for joining. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. Anybody said I'm going to do something new for the new year? Nobody? Okay. Well, maybe all of you all have arrived, right? And so I don't necessarily, make resolutions per se, but there are some things that I wanted to do a little bit differently, right? Last year, I honestly don't even remember what my resolution was, and most people don't. I think they have said that most people really don't remember. So if you can't remember what the thing is that you're supposed to be changing, working towards, then it's pretty hard for you to work towards it. I do know that I got healthier. I lost weight, and so that was good. I don't know if I resolved at the beginning of the year to do it or not, but I did it, so that's a good thing. Let's see, Stashi, you're bigger Glover. Thank you for joining. So today what I want to just talk about is being new. Being new. It's a new year. We want to talk about being new. That's N.E.W. Can you all hear me? I'm assuming you can hear me. Just let me hear a yes if you can hear me. Miss Mary Jones, thank you for watching. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. Perfect. Well, we'll go on. So, new. Y'all know I love acronyms. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm so glad that you are here. I love acronyms, y'all. What are acronyms? Those are words that if we take the individual letters that make up the word, then we can use those to have other words from them. And so today we're going to use the word new. And so everything is B and one of those letters in new. B, one of those things in new. I can hear you. Yes. Cousin Bree is in the building. Hello. Happy New Year, my love. And Miss Sashi says, Miss Beverly says hello. All right. So the first thing we want to be is needy for change. So I asked everybody, did you have a resolution? Nobody said anything. That's fine. But the first thing that you want to do when you're talking about being new is that you need to be in need of a change. So why is that the case? And it's not so much that you're doing anything wrong or that you're doing anything right, but there's always room for growth. I think I'm a fairly decent mama, right? I know that I'm the best mama for my kids. Nobody can tell me any different. But could I be a better mother? Yes. Could I be a better wife? Yes. Could I be a better physician? Yes. Could I be a better host? Yes. Could I be a better driver? Yes. Could I be better with my spending? Heck yes. So we have to make sure that we know that there is something that we need to change. And why do we need to change? Because we aren't perfect. And at the point that we are perfect, we're probably in a box and they're about to put us under, right? So until then, there has to be something that we know we need to do. Now, how do we know we need to do it? Because some people say, well, shoot, I don't need to change anything. No, I ain't perfect, but I'm doing everything, as good as it's going to get. That's where our therapists come in. That's where our friends come in. That's where our confidants come in. That's where our physicians come in. So if your physician has said to you, you need to lose weight, well, there's a need for a change. If your physician has said to you, your hemoglobin A1C is not where it needs to be, well, that sounds like there needs to be a change. If your driving record shows that you keep running through yellow lights, probably looks like there needs to be a change there. Y'all know I'm an ADHD expert, and so if your child is not doing well in school and you know that something is going on, but you are not seeking an answer, then we know that there needs to be a change there. There needs to be change so that we can grow. Just look at the butterfly. It doesn't always start off with a butterfly, but if we left it in the cocoon, we would never get to see how really beautiful it is. So we need to be able to change to grow, right? I'm not the same Dr. Brandy that I was in 2011 when I started my job in September of 2011. I'm not the same Dr. Brandy that I was in December, right? I'm rested now. So the people that get to see me now, they may get a whole new version of me because I have let an entire year of stuff go. I've enjoyed my family. I've enjoyed the holidays. I have cut up because, y'all, I love to cut up. And so I'm a different person. And so if you are not evolving and growing and changing and becoming new, then you're probably missing out potentially on being the best version of yourselves. So when we're talking about being new, the first thing that you need to do is be in need, and that's your N for a change. Be in need for a change. And I went through some examples of how you might know. You know, there are self-help books because you may say, well, I don't know what needs to change. And I will tell you, listen to your gut. Listen to your friends. Listen to your therapist. If you don't have one, get one, because these are the people that are going to bring up things that are going to help you see that there may need to be something new. There needs to be a change. Now, your E is to get educated. You need to be educated. So the first thing you need to do is to be in need of a change, and then you're not going to just know how to change, right? You're just not going to know how to do it all of a sudden. So maybe your change is that you want to move out from living with your mom, your dad. Maybe you want to leave your spouse. Maybe you want to, you are in need of helping a child figure out how to navigate college or how to get into college or how to navigate the ACT. And so the next thing you need to do is be educated. We know what we know because we got educated. So where are some places we get education? You're right here getting education, right? You're right here every week. We're talking about ADHD. We're talking about mental health. We're challenging you. We're challenging you to become different, become new, become a different version of yourself. Not that the old version or the current version is bad, but that there may be something new waiting for you that is even better than what you could have ever imagined. And so you need to be educated. We need to read up. If we're trying to help our children get into college and we don't know exactly how to help them, we can get education from the counselor. We can get education from other people that have gone to college. They say that fifth grade math is hard. Guess what? I'm not looking forward to it because I don't know if I'm smarter than a fifth grader. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a tutor for my children if they should need it, and then I'm going to listen in so that when the next child gets to fifth grade, I'll already know how to do that. So that's how we need to get educated. Asking for help. And if you search my page, remember, I did a whole live on reasons that we should ask for help. When we ask for help, we can get educated on some things. We can learn some things. We can take all the stress off of us because, believe it or not, a job may have to get done, and you may have to be the one to ultimately do it, but you don't have to do it alone. Just think about me. I have nurses, and they help me tremendously. Y'all know I love my nurses. I don't play about my nurses. I will fight a mountain lion. Now, I don't know if I really fight a mountain lion, but it sounds like a good thing to say. That lets you know how I really feel about them. And that is because ultimately it's my responsibility to get the job done, but I need some help. If I was making appointments, scheduling appointments, doing PAs, writing prescriptions, calling pharmacies, and especially with the shortage that exists now with stimulant medications, which are largely used to treat ADHD, if I had to do all that and now call around to pharmacies and then try to come home and be available to my kids, I couldn't get it done. So I need to be educated on where is the help. Where is help? And again, I know I've said it at least 3 times already. Therapy can be the beginning of your help. Therapy can be the beginning of you saying, I need some help. And it's okay if I ask for help. And so we've got to be able to do that. We've got to, I gave the example earlier of if your child is struggling in school, then knowing what it is that you need to do, you need to be educated on what could it be, right? So in general, my approach, my way of thinking is that children want to do well. They want to do well. They want to please us. But what happens if they are not? If they're not doing well in school, it's because of one of 2 reasons initially. They can't focus or they don't understand the work. Sometimes it's both. But what we need to do as parents is become educated on what those options are and then what the treatment is. In 2023, we're going onward and upward. We are not going to be bound by being embarrassed, by being naive, by not wanting people to know. Sure, you don't have to tell all of your kids' medical history or their business or yours either, but we definitely have to do what is best for our kids because we are losing our kids because of their mental illnesses. We're losing ourselves because of our mental illnesses. And until we are able to be educated and to accept that we need a change, we are going to continue to struggle. And nobody, you would fight a mountain lion over your kid, but you won't get your kid the help that they need. I can't make it make sense, but maybe you can. But I promise you that in 2023, if you commit to your children in their education and not saying, oh, you just playing. If a kid say they're sad, you better believe them because guess what? Kids kill themselves too. Kids run away. Kids are depressed. Kids are anxious. And it is our job to recognize that there is a need for change and then to get educated on that need. Let's see, we got Miss Patricia Pruitt. She says, I'm here with you. Hello. Miss Sandra Keith. She says, I love the hair today. Thank you so much. And she is smiling. And she says, how's our favorite doctor? Girl, you just made my day. So glad I went on up and scrolled and saw that. Let's see what else we got. We've got Miss Sandra. She says, how do we help an ODD child understand about medicine changes? Ours was out one day till med refill was ready. He had a meltdown. It was awful. So is the question, how do we help them understand medication changes, or how do we help them to still perform when there have been gaps and lapses in medication treatment? I'm not really sure what you're saying, but, as kids we need to address our kids as their age can tolerate what it is that we're saying to them. And so here's the deal. A lot of parents will say, well, I don't want my kid to know. I'm not a fan of lying to kids. People say, well, I'm giving them vitamins. And, you do whatever you want to, but our kids are smart, right? They have devices. The very device that I am talking to you on, our kids have access to them too. And so they have access to Google. They're playing games. They are in chat rooms. They have access to things. And so the best thing we need to do is to talk to them about their medical condition. We have to educate them, right? They need to be educated. They need to be educated, and it's only through education and setting expectations that then we can tell them what it is that we expect them to change. So in order for them to be aware that there's a need for change, they need to also be aware of what it is that's going on. And so oppositional defiant disorder, or ODD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, depression, anxiety, all of these things are medical conditions. And in order to improve them, for you, or for anyone else, there has to be a lot of education. And believe it or not, I spend more time educating parents in my sessions than I do writing a script. writing a script is the easiest thing that I do. I could simply write scripts all day and never really see you. But it is the education, making sure that parents understand the importance of not running out. Now, again, we have shortages of medicines now, and so there have been some challenges in that respect. But, just getting parents to understand that medicines need to be given every day. Your child has oppositional defiant disorder or ADHD every day, so why in the world would we not treat it every day? Now, there are physicians who may tell you otherwise, but again, they don't understand. So physicians need education about mental health disorders, much like I would need to be educated and should not be giving you advice if you've had a heart transplant. I don't know anything about a heart transplant. So, yes, I'm a physician, and yes, I'm triple boarded, but none of my specialties include cardiology, and certainly not cardiovascular disease and transplants. So I have no business speaking to you about that because I don't understand it as your cardiologist would. And so, again, just being very honest, being very frank with our kids. Now, the question was, is it wrong to be stern? I do not think that it is wrong to be stern. Again, kids want structure. Why do kids go out of their way to do things that they know they should not do, such that we have to come to the school? It's because you weren't going to the school for the other stuff. You weren't showing up for the spelling bee. You weren't showing up for the math derby. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, because I know some mama right now is hot. She said, I did show up for all of that, and they still were cutting up. But there was something that was missing. Kids want to perform well. Kids want to be praised. And so if we never praise them when they do something that's good, guess what? They're going to get some praise some way and from somewhere. So if you don't give it to them, they're going to find somebody that will. They're going to find the young man. They're going to find the young girl. They're going to find the crowd that is going to validate them. So again, when we become educated, we know that being stern is not a bad thing. I don't know that there's a mama on the planet that was any more stern than one Kenny Diane Green Rudolph, right? But look at me. I made it. And if you ask me now, I'll tell her thank you. Tell her thank you now. She's listening. Because that is what got me in the position that I can now tell you, hey, be stern on your kids. Now, with that being said, each child is an individual, right? Each child is an individual. I cannot parent the three of my children the same. In general, they need guidelines, they need rules, but they're all not the same kind of tough, and so they cannot all stand the same type of parenting, nor do they not all need it. My oldest, for example, is going to do what you tell him for the most part. You say don't cross the line, he's not going to even come in the room. My middle one, he might come in the room, he might look at the line, he may tiptoe over the line. That's going to be it. The baby, come in, walk, parenting. So what is stern for my oldest child may not be at all stern for my youngest child. But if what you're asking is, should we have expectations for our children, and should we be consistent in laying down those expectations, the answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Ms. Dr. Marley Bradley. Dr. Marley Bradley is my friend. She was my attending. She is in Indianapolis, Indiana. She was ED physician. Are you still at Raleigh? She says, I love your face and your voice and your words. Please touch on how to persuade parents to get help for their kids, especially when the kids ask for help. When parents say you don't need therapy and drugs, you need Jesus. Oh, my God. You know what I'm talking about. I say you need all of the above, but it ain't working. Okay, there's nothing wrong with a little Jesus, a little therapy, and a little medication if you need it, right? So if you've ever listened to me before, and if you if you only walk away with one piece of advice, it is that 100% of human beings need therapy. I say it all the time, and I will continue to say it. We all need therapy. Why do we need therapy? Because we're always being traumatized. We're always being traumatized. When we wake up in the morning, we're driving to work, we're minding our business, we got our gospel on, somebody cut us off, and now we're cursing. And now they done messed up your whole day because, or you're running late because you have ADHD yourself, and you get to work late, and you got a presentation, and now everybody's looking at you, and you dropped your coffee, and you left your the presentation notebook at the house on the, or in the car. all of these are stressors that over time will impact everything, right? It impacts everything. And let's just say you aren't necessarily stressed out, but let's just say you're doing a lot. Let's just say you're doing a lot. And so you are trying to juggle a million things, and there are all kind of people pulling at you. They want this, they want that, the kids want something, the husband wants something, the boss wants something, the rent man wants, everybody wants something. But there's only so much that you can give, right? Because I don't care what it is, it's only 100%. It's only 100%. And when we start talking about 120, 150, 110, honey, you are robbing from somewhere else to get that other 10 to make 110. So we need to be in therapy, right? And then going back to Dr. Marley's question, how do we get people to ask for help? You've got to first, under our N.E.W acronym, the new is that we've got to recognize that there needs to be a change. You got to recognize that there needs to be a change. You know when your child has issues. You don't need me to tell you that, right? You know it. You may not know what to call it, but you know when your child is having some challenges. You already know that. Now, if this is your first time visiting me, listen, I'll split verbs, but I can speak the King's language too. I'm a Southern girl. Okay, I'm a grit, a girl raised in the South. But I can speak proper if that's what you prefer. But I just like to be real, right? Because it takes so much effort to it. I just want to be real. I want to let you all know that in 2023, we're trying to go onward and upward. We're trying to be real with ourselves. We're trying to be honest with ourselves. We're trying to get some education so that we can make our children be better. Because guess what? When our children are better, that encourages other people's children to be better. And don't you know that eventually, if everybody around you is doing the right thing, you are now the outlier, and so you want to do better. So that's how our world gets better. But we absolutely have to believe our children. If your child is I have a child right now, a 14 or 15-year-old, the child is begging her mother to treat her for ADHD. She will let me treat her for everything else, but she will not for ADHD. And so this child is in 10th grade, and her grades just continue to struggle. And I just pray for that girl. One day I actually cried because I felt so bad for her because I thought, again, and the mom, that's the tricky part of being a parent, We do what we think is the best. And some parts of parenting are just downright scary because you don't know if you're doing it right. But at some point, you've got to take a leap and say, what I am doing is not working. I've got to do something else. So if your child is asking for help, please believe them. Please get help for them. Get help for yourself. And that's where that therapy comes in, helping you to be able to work through any guilt you may have. It's not your fault that your child ended up with whatever, right? Diabetes, high blood pressure. That's not your fault, right? Our genetics are what our genetics are. But we can talk to them about healthy eating. We can talk to them about losing weight. That was what it was for me. I lived the majority of my childhood thinking that my dad would die because he was obese. And in my 3rd of 5 years of residency, he died, right? So some people say, well, you had it on your mind. No. We're going to speak these things if they're so, but we're also going to be real. And so what did I do? Why did I lose weight? Why do I do anything? It's because of my kids. I'm an old girl with young kids, so time is already not on my side. So I need to make sure that I'm healthy so I can be here for them. So I had to recognize that there was a need for change, and then I got educated on how I could do that. I know that to lose weight, you eat less and you exercise more. Duh. But I paid somebody to help me do that in a way that was going to be consistent and that I could continue to do it. Because me being here to raise my kids is important to me. Because can nobody raise my kids like I can, right? So I need to be here. I had to get educated. Does that make sense? I had to go get some therapy to help me figure out how to lose weight. And I'm a physician, right? So I know you're smart. And so you may just need some help to say, this child is not doing well in 3rd grade. We need some help. And then going from there. Thank you for that question, Dr. Marley. We've got N.E.W. Tolliver here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Brandy Lachey Schubert is here. So glad to see you. Happy New Year. Miss Courtney says, I know you've asked if we had had New Year resolution, and I didn't answer, but me and both my boys with ADHD had made a resolution to try harder, not to do anything with half our heart, but full-heartedly. I love it. Speaking on being without meds, they have also been without theirs for almost 2 weeks, but I've been trying to help them, so it is very hard at times. I will tell you, I don't know if you all are out of medicine or if you just chose to not take them, maybe because of the holiday, but I'll tell you this. Everything is on shortage. Of course, Adderall made the news, but just about all of the ones that I regularly prescribe are at varying times and at varying pharmacies on shortage. So a couple of things that you can do is to, and I can only speak for the way that I am and how I practice medicine. And my goal is for children whose parents want them on medicine, or the kid wants to be, for them to never be without medicine if they are following my clinic's policies. And so it may be that you need to call another pharmacy and ask them if they have the strength and the medication that you need, and then call and tell your doctor, hey, we found the 18s at this pharmacy, the 26s over here, so that they can go ahead and get that sent over. But I absolutely love that you all are really working on focusing harder, giving it your heart. But then the other piece, especially with ADHD, is that recognizing. I mean, that would be like, so for people who don't treat ADHD, however you choose to treat it, that would be like someone with diabetes, right? Insulin-dependent diabetes, which means that if you don't give yourself insulin, your body doesn't have any. But you saying, and this is not you, Miss Courtney, this is for the people that do not treat their child's ADHD. That would be the equivalent of you saying, we just gonna work with our whole heart on keeping our glucose controlled. How? How you gonna do that? Y'all gonna have to help me. This year, y'all gonna help me make sense of some stuff that I have not yet been able to make sense of. I cannot make sense of that. Just like people say, I'm gonna clean up my house and then I'm gonna get somebody to come and help me clean it up. How? You need some help. I told my husband at the end last year, I need some help. Drowning. Water up to here. And I don't know how to swim. I don't know if y'all know that, but I know. Okay. Water, I can feel it at the top of my lip. Drowning. Right? Need some help. And so that is what we need to do. We need to admit it. We need to be, in need, and then be educated. What else we got? Let me know if these are not answering your questions. Miss Sandra Keith says, the child is my grandson, and we do a lot to help with discipline. Absolutely. So discipline is key. Every child needs discipline. Every child needs discipline. So what happens when kids get in big-time trouble? They go to juvenile. What happens in juvenile? Discipline. What happens when we say, we got to get him out of here. We're going to get him in the military. He got to get away from here. What are we doing? We're instilling discipline. Because, I had a kid tell me yesterday with a straight face, I don't like rules. And I said, well, tell me where you're going where there aren't any. Because when I drive, red means stop. If it's a circle or octagon, it means stop. Yellow means be cautious and slow down. Green means go. I have to follow those rules. If I rent an apartment, they may call me and tell me that they have a rule that they can come in my house and inspect. What I'm going to do? Okay? If I'm paying a mortgage, they're going to tell me which day to pay it, and if I'm consistently late or don't pay it, they're going to come and get my stuff. So we always have rules, and the quicker, and I don't know why this generation of kids thinks that they are above the law, but one of the best things, and I think I said this last week or the week before, that we can do, yes, it was last week when we were talking about the gift of love. One of the best things that we can do is make sure that our children understand that there are rules, and they are not so special that they don't have to follow them. They have to follow rules. So, yes, discipline is good. We've got Miss Lakeisha Henderson Watson. Welcome and thank you for joining. Thanks for all your help, says Miss Sandra. Of course, thank you for listening and watching. Miss Ryan Hinton Smith, Happy New Year. Miss Sashi says, Sashi, I think I was just Sashi, says, amen. Miss Sandra says, we so much appreciate you. I appreciate you because guess what? If there was nobody here asking me questions, I'd just be on here talking to myself, and that is insanity. We don't want that. Miss Courtney is raising the roof, saying hallelujah. I love it. Miss Sasha says, my whole house is in therapy, Jesus, and we are making each one better. Absolutely. We need a little therapy. We need a lot of Jesus, and sometimes we need some medicine to top it all off. We've got Miss Jawanda Mark watching. Thank you. Miss Sandra Key says, can a child not get your help on their own? Can they go to they can go get birth control without parents' permission? So that is an absolutely great point. Yes. So at the age of 14, children have autonomy over a simplified way of looking at it is over their brain and their genitalia, right? So what I mean by that, you can get mental health treatment, that's your brain, and your genitalia. You can get prevention of sexually transmitted infections, prevention of pregnancy, and then it was always variable about abortion even before Roe versus Wade. But yeah, kids over 14 do have that autonomy. It gets kind of tricky though, because what happens every month, our insurance sends us a statement. So if I'm opening it and I see that my child is on Prozac, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Who gave my child Prozac? Now we got a whole situation because now this person wants to call the medical board and want to call the office, cutting up, cussing, coming down, threatening. So it's a whole situation. But because you all want to be educated, and that's what I'm here to do. At 14 years old, your child does have autonomy. And even when it comes to other medical conditions, and if you know from maybe a divorce and visitation and such, a judge is very much likely to strongly consider what your adolescent child says when it comes to visitation and going to the non-custodial parent's house. Very good. Miss Sandra says, your help is important. You are awesome. Thank you so much. Mama says, good information. As always, the nurse hasn't been in, says Miss Courtney. Give a call back. Give a call back so we can get things straight. Miss Cynthia Brown Manning, hello. Cheryl Tito, hello. Miss Courtney says, yes, I totally agree. My babies need the meds. They said the nurse hasn't been there to call it in. I'm not going to lie. I want to pull my hair out sometime. And just another note on medicines. Make sure that you're getting those medicines on time. Now more than ever, it is key that you get those medicines whenever you are able to, because we are in some times where people are running out, and we do not want that to happen. Christina Aguilar, hello. Thank you for joining. Auntie Julia says, thank you for always sharing great information. Christina Smith is watching, and we've got my good friend, Miss Chris Dawn is watching. Happy New Year to you all. Okay. It's 1 o'clock, but I've got to get through this last one. Y'all were asking good questions, so we have to do that. So we're talking about be new in the new year. The B, the N is in need of a change. So we need to be in need of a change. How do we know that we're in need of change? We may not know. But you know, y'all are smart. You all know if something needs to be changed. Maybe tweaked a little bit, not twerked, but tweaked. I mean, if you want to twerk, that's your business too. But it may just need to be tweaked because you may just be, on the cusp of getting something right, that next breakthrough, and you just need to do one thing differently, and that'll make all the difference. So you need to be in need of a change, and then you need to be educated, and then the W is that you need to be wowed, and really is that you need to prepare to be wowed. Why is that the case? Why is it the case that you need to prepare to be wowed? You need to prepare to be wowed because if you are doing something without expectancy for it to happen, the chances are that it may not happen, right? Now, y'all know I love Jesus, and I talk about Jesus over here. But let's just think about the young man who had a cardiac episode on the field Monday. When people say, I'm praying for you, first of all, you need to be careful about who's praying because you don't know what they're praying for. But if I'm praying, I've got to be prepared for the prayer to come true. And if I'm prepared for the prayer to come true, then I'm preparing for a wow. And boy, did we get a wow today. Yesterday, actually, we got a wow when his doctor came and said he wrote who won the game. And the man said, you did. You won the game of life. And then we got wow today when we learned that he's off the ventilator, breathing on his own. And then I saw another wow when we saw that he was FaceTiming with his teammates, right? So when we are getting educated, when we are aware that there needs to be a change, we need to go ahead and be prepared to be wowed. Now, I may have shared with you all before, I had two sons, Frederick and Franklin. I said to myself, well, my mama had boy, girl, and my husband's mom had boy, girl. There's a chance that we could have boy, girl, too. And what did I do? I started buying stuff for girls. I started speaking a girl into existence. I had a name for a girl. In fact, Tina's husband said, what about Faith? Because they all have the same initials. Okay? And so Faith became a household name before Faith ever came into existence. Why? Because I had faith. So before I got faith, I had faith. Did y'all catch that? Before I had faith, the human being, I had faith that she was going to happen. And some of us are still not able to get to the end. We cannot get to the end. We cannot get to the new because we don't believe that it's going to happen. We don't speak as if it's going to happen. We don't act as if it's going to happen. We don't hang around people who can help us. We want a new house, but we're not doing anything to get educated about how to improve our credit. We want our kids to make all A's, but we are not talking to the teacher about what he or she is seeing in the classroom. And then if they tell us, we're not acting on it. We want to go back to school and get our GED or get our nursing license or get our realtor, license. But somewhere, somebody 30 years ago told us you're never going to amount to anything. And even though you're surrounding yourself with friends, you're getting the education, you're coming to Focus on it Friday, Dr. Brandon B telling you can do whatever you want to do, just say these affirmations, these I am statements. I am a nurse. I am a doctor. I am this. Just get these mantras, these 6-word statements that you can fall on. Mine and God can do that too. You're doing all of that, but you don't really believe it. And you can't even get started because you are not prepared to be wowed. So what I want you all to do is to start walking. If you believe in the Bible says, speak these things as if they are so, right? And so long before, I've been talking about I'm gonna make $1 million in a year, right? The car I drive now was a car that way back then I said I wanted to drive. And then many years later, I got it. 10th grade, I said I wanted to be a physician. I didn't get into medical school the first time I applied, but I still performed, walked in expectancy of a wow. And so not only, y'all, did a man at my state school tell me with demonstration, okay, he had 2 sets of folders, random folders on his desk. And he said to me, even as a state student, a resident of Alabama. He picked up one of those stacks of folders, and he slid what he was using to be my application, and he slid it under the bottom, and he slammed those others down. He said, "This is where your application would be." But I still said to him, "Thank you," right? Because I didn't know what I was going to be, but I was prepared for a wow. And so not only am I a board certified pediatrician, but I'm two types of doctors in addition to that. You see, so a long time ago, right, there was something that was put in your heart that you needed to do as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. There was something in your heart long ago that you wanted for your children. And so I want to encourage you to not let go of that wow. Honor that need, state that need, write that need. We talk about vision boards now, but long before I knew what a vision board was, I drew a picture of a red car with the top down, and I called it my Mustang, and I got that car, right? So write it down. That way you can't forget it. Write that need down, write that change down, go back to it, remind yourself of it, say that thing, get around people who want that thing. If you are the smartest, best looking, healthiest, if you're all of that in your group, you need new friends. There needs to be somebody who's already where you want to be. It gives you something else to aspire towards. Goals, says Miss Dot. You need them. When we became mothers, our goals may shift, but don't put your goals aside because you're still a human. I'm going to shop. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get my hair done. And what I have said to myself, because honestly, I have the car, I have the husband, I have the kids, I have the house, I have the income. I said what I was going to make last year, and I made it. And you know what I said? My goal for this year is to slow down. Why? Because I went to a store, and I bought several things, and I left all but two of them at the store. And I only found out that I left all of them at the store 2 to 3 weeks later when I went to take one of the two things back that I couldn't wear. And the lady said, "Miss Bowles, we've been calling y'all. You're going to get a big refund today because we finally put that stuff back." I didn't even know that I had left the stuff. I thought I bought more stuff than this. But I moved so fast. And so now I'm really working on being intentional about everything. And it is going to be a change for me because I'm used to moving fast. I'm used to thinking fast. I mean, I see a lot of patients. I got to keep up with a lot of stuff. I'm multitasking. But there are no people that I need to be focusing on more than those three little ones, right? So we've got to figure out what it is that we need. And I hope that each of you can take, even if you have to take the rest of January to figure out what that is. What is it that you need to be in need of a change for, right? And then you can be educated, and then you can prepare to be wowed. That's your new. Be in need of something, be educated, and be wowed. And the wow part only comes after the work. That's your other W. Faith without works is dead. If I said I was going to have a girl and I never looked at my husband in an intimate fashion, I don't care what I said, she was not going to come into existence, right? So when you're preparing to be wild, make sure you got your affirmations. Those I am. Write them. Write them, put them on repeat. I am blank. I am blank. I have blank. I want blank. I see myself blank. And then that mantra, 6-word statement that you can always fall back on. Make sure you're listening to your kids. They are telling you the truth. And if they are lying about something that's just far out, you need to ask yourself, why would they lie about that? And pay attention. Pay them some attention. They are smart. They have access to all kinds of things, but they need to have access to you. That's what they want. That is what is most important. Guys, I appreciate you all for hanging out with me. I've gone over a little bit, but I've been excited about this Be New. I see Amber, that's my niece. She just made her vision board today. 2023 is her year. Y'all pray for Amber. Amber is a student. She is working on her master's in speech language pathology, and so she will finish this April 28th. So go ahead and lift Amber, lift all our college students. We have some preparing to go back, our college and our professional students. And don't forget our little guys, y'all. I can't imagine being a child in 2023. It's hard. It's hard. I can't imagine. They've got cell phones. And, if you don't have that cell phone, so it's not just that you got it. First of all, I would think if you got a cell phone, that's one thing. But no, if you don't have an iPhone, if you don't have a phone, that's a lot. And so it places a lot of stress on parents to try to deliver on this stuff. But what we need to do is make sure our kids are secure in who they are. Because the iPhone doesn't make them, Jordans don't make them, Nike doesn't make them, Under Armour doesn't make them. They need to know that if they're wearing Skats from Walmart, and by the way, I love clothes from Walmart, okay? If they're wearing Walmart brand, they need to be so confident in themselves that they are not bothered by anything. But we'll talk more about that. Let's see. Miss Sandra says, my goal is to start thinking about myself, which is something I'm not good at. Oh, my goodness. She says, I seem to always take care of everyone else's needs, and that is going to grow old. You will wear